Hi everyone, Neil Mason here from Applied Insights. So in this series of short videos, I'm discussing how to build a really offensive data and analytics strategy. And in previous videos, I've outlined what I mean by that, which is essentially having a strategy that focuses relentlessly on value realization and value delivery to the organization. And we've discussed the three main components of a really offensive data and analytics strategy as being firstly, focusing on that last mile and making the shift to decision intelligence. Secondly, developing value-based analytics products. And thirdly, creating robust value management, delivery, and tracking processes around those products. Now, last time we looked at what we mean by value when designing analytics products. And in this video, we're going to start to look at the approach to building analytics products. Now, when it comes to building analytics products, based on many years of experience working with stakeholders and users in this area, my basic philosophy is this. And this is because data and analytics products are what are called experiential products. And that it's generally the case that people don't really know what it is they want or need until they are actually experiencing it. I'm sure we've all been in a position where we built something based on some requirements and the stakeholder or client has then said, well, it's not really what I meant. So I think the best approach to building out these types of products is to use a user-centric and design thinking-led approach. And this approach is designed to get product into the hands of its users as quickly as possible, and then to work with the users to iterate the development of the product into its initial deliverable. Now, this approach improves user satisfaction. It increases adoption, it reduces implementation and maintenance effort, and accelerates time to value. So let's take a look at this approach in a little bit more detail. Now, the first step is discovery, which we've already actually looked at in previous videos. This is where we flesh out the personas, we understand the jobs to be done, the pains and the gains, the decisions to be made, and the value to be delivered. And in the next stage, we begin to define the value proposition for the product, which is then we can start to turn into user stories. We define the value and how it will be delivered using the value realization diagram, and then how it will be measured using the KPI and KRA framework. Next is the initial design phase, and this is really about validating what the personas, what you've captured in terms of their requirements before getting into any development work. And this can be done using very simple artifacts and deliverables such as wireframes or low fidelity prototypes. And having done that initial validation, we can then start development work. Now, as I mentioned, the spirit of this approach is really all about getting products into the hands of users quickly and often for them to test and to give feedback on. And so an agile product development methodology is the order of the day. The initial goal is delivering a minimal viable product, MVP, or a proof of value, POV. And this is where the product is sufficiently developed to be able to demonstrate its viability or not. I like to call it a tiny machine that works. At this point, there's a decision to be made about whether sufficient potential value is being demonstrated by the product in order for further investment to be justified to continue its development or not. Now, alongside this design and development process, there's also a series of data management processes. At the initial stage, alongside the business discovery, there's also data discovery. And here what you're doing is looking to understand what data is available, how accessible it is, and how usable it is. Again, this is an iterative approach. The requirements define the data that's required, but the data availability and accessibility kind of also determines what can be realistically achieved in an initial proof of value. And there's like to be a trade-off to be made. As with all things, don't let perfect get in the way of good. So the results of your data discovery feed into the final definition of what the MVP may look like. The data then needs to be sourced, extracted, transformed into whatever format is needed to support product development. In the event that the product goes beyond the POV stage, then those data management processes would need to be more formalized in order to support industrialization. And this is where the data platforms and infrastructure needs to be designed to support this sort of lab to factory approach. This mirrors a physical product development manufacturing. process. The research lab is all about innovation, research and development, and testing. It's those initial stages of the product development that we've just been talking about. In terms of the data platform infrastructure, this would mean creating separate environments where analysts, data scientists, and data engineers can essentially have a sandbox where they can ingest data, manipulate it, play around with it, and test out those ideas. Products that are successful in the lab then get industrialized and are developed and produced in the factory, which is your enterprise data platform, where there are more formal data management and governance processes in place to be able to support the product at scale across the enterprise. And this is the whole discipline of data operations, or data ops, as it's known. So the key takeaways here in terms of building out analytics products are: 1, take a user-centric and design thinking type approach. 2, get product into the hands of the users quickly and often. And 3, underpin this with a lab to factory approach in your data and analytics infrastructure. In the next video, I'll be taking a look at how you wrap all this together with demand management and value tracking processes. I look forward to seeing you then. Bye for now.